Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. I'll just give everybody a minute here. Get all set up. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? It is very rainy here in Calgary. Hi, Sandy. What's everybody up to? Staying in and warm and cozy? Hopefully staying nice and cozy. I did some crafting today and the girls did school, so that's a good rainy day, indoor, fuzzy socks. We are definitely hoping for some warmer weather. Yeah, dark and dreary, I know. I guess we need the rain, so. And June is kind of a rainy month. The furnace is on. I know, it's so crazy after last week. It just being so hot and then back to cold. It's just so funny. Hi, Jenny. I have some of Jenny's beautiful cards here today. I'm so excited to show you guys all the amazing cards that some of the girls that work with Scrap Shotz have dropped off for me to show you. It needs to settle in the middle of somewhere. It's so crazy, hey? I'm from Nova Scotia and we never got the extreme weather that's here, so it was so foreign to me when I moved out here. But sometimes it does rain like 2 weeks there. So I'm gonna give you a look at all these beautiful folders. We're gonna make a card that is similar to this one today. I was just playing around with this background. This one is the Altenew. Last week we looked at all the Altenew folders that had come in. Hey, Tamara. And I decided to play with this one. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll show you them all again because they're so nice. And the 3D really does give such a great dimension. And you really don't have to add a lot. Amy and I just got Invisalign 2 days ago. Well, she got hers yesterday. So I'm really trying to talk normally, but if I sound like I'm a little off, that's why. So this here, these ones here are from Stacy. So the girls have written some notes in. These may give you some ideas about cards. You can come back and screenshot anything. And if you watch the Scrap Shotz Instagram, then you'll be able to kind of see their posts as they post them and get more details. But definitely reach out if there's anything that you're interested in or not sure about. So for this one here, I'll just kind of run through quickly what each girl has used. This is a Spellbinder Scallop Embossing Folder, Photo Play Say It With Stamps, Friend Stamp. Those are really great. The Photo Play Say It With Stamps. I'm not sure what exactly is in the shop, but I do know that there are some. Yeah, the purple is beautiful. Like it's so, the watercolor is gorgeous. She did the Pink Fresh Curvy Leaves die and Wow Gold Pearl Embossing Powder. And then she used a watercolor paper. So I love the splatters. It's just so gorgeous. Then this one here is another beautiful embossed one. Oh, she's got hers on the back here. So this one is Creative Expressions Diamond Wreath. I know we have a lot of the Creative Expressions folders in the shop. And the Photo Play Say It With Stamps Friend again. Those look so cool. She has, it looks like, I think she's, yeah, it looks like she's layered like 3 or 4 layers, but it almost has the look of like a foam embellishment. Really cool. And then she's got some splatters and some little gems. And then we've got that really great embossing folder again, that scallop embossing folder from Spellbinders. And we've got some Canson watercolor paper and some ink smooshing with the Kitsch Flamingo and Picked Raspberry. Those look so nice together. They are really pretty. So even the back of that embossing folder is really nice, hey? So those ones were from Stacy. And then these ones are from Jenny. These are gorgeous, Jenny. So this is the oh, and it's, I'm trying to get it off, but it's like connected. Looks like it's very sticky. Okay, so this is the Creative Expressions Daisy Field Embossing Folder. That's really pretty. And then there's gold embossing powder. So that looks like that's in the background. Pink Fresh mini tag dies with fillable words. Oh, right. I did see those. Those are great. Just ended the standoff with the kitchen. I just showed yours, Stacy, and they're amazing. So beautiful. Photoplay Sentiment Stamp from the Hello set. And Pink Fresh Curly Leaves die. So those are great. And then we've got Distress Oxide sprays on the cardstock leaves. So you can see that really pretty oxide look that she's got there. Nouveau drops. So those are good. You have those so perfectly, they actually look like those half pearls. Those very good Nouveau dropping, Jenny. And Hero Art's Nesting Heart die. Isn't that pretty in the background and with it layered on top? That's really pretty. And then this looks like the scallop embossing folder from Spellbinders and Satin Pearl embossing powder. So that's really shiny. Really pretty. Then this one here is the Creative Expressions 3D Daisy Field embossing folder and gold embossing powder. That looks really, really pretty on that like craft paper. The gold and the craft, really beautiful. So I'm guessing, Jenny, that you probably put the Versamark ink on the folder, embossed it, and then put the embossing powder on, and it would have just stuck to the places that were flat. You put your Nouveau drops on the craft mat to dry before gluing them on. That is so smart. Love that. Then this is the 3D Daisy Field embossing folder, Satin Pearl embossing powder, and Glossy White Nouveau drops. So look at this is Satin Pearl, I think, too. So look how that Satin Pearl, depending on the color that's underneath, yeah, Versamark on the folder. Depending on the color that's underneath, it really picks up and just accents whatever cardstock color. Those are gorgeous. All right, then we have, these are from Rosie. And Rosie's got her instructions here. So this is an angled mosaic 3D embossing folder. I know I've seen this one before. That's from Altenew. So she embossed it, she swiped the ink pad over it. So you can see that beautiful blue and it just picks up the ridges. Then she fussy cut floral from Fairy Tale Floral Stamp. So that is so pretty. Essential Sentiment strip die and gold mirror cardstock. and then she's got a diamond in there that's cut. So not all of these are going to be in the store, but I know Sandy sometimes orders directly from different companies. If there's something you're specifically wondering about, you can definitely email her at sandy@scrapshotz.com. And if you have a look through the shop at the dies and the embossing folders, there's definitely a large selection of embossing folders, and you may see this and figure, oh, I have, or I like that embossing folder, or you know, that gives me a good idea to use the embossing folder that I have in a certain way, right? So this one says it is that, yeah, the Altenew strip die is very cool. And it reminds me of those Pink Fresh tags that Jenny used. Altenew Vines 3D folder. So the dimension is so cool. She's got Cosmo's Craft a Flower. So it looks like a flower layering die. An essential sentiment strip. Some red cardstock and some unicorn white pigment ink. So I would say she probably put the pigment ink on the folder and then embossed it, and then it kind of stuck into those ridges. This one, that's so pretty. And it's, I think too, the thing to remember with the embossing folders is you can go really simple. So if you had a bunch of cards to make up, you know, you emboss your panels. She's got some ink sprayed on here and a frame and a sentiment, and you could make either a bunch of teacher cards or thank you cards, or even like a package of cards to give to somebody very easily, and they look beautiful. So this is the Altenew Spring Blossom 3D folder. Then she's got some gloss spray, cheddar and magenta. Oh, those look so nice together. So that's the orange and the pink. Hey, Lorraine. Yes, Rosie, you put it over the folder and rub the ink pad over the embossing. Okay, as the cardstock cracked a little. And even though it cracked a little, it really looks cool. They are beautiful. Hey, Lorraine. It's a fine frames cover die, and then gold mirror cardstock and an essential sentiments die, and misted Vicky Bouton Media cardstock, and then embossed with folder. That's so beautiful. So is that the foundations paper, Rosie? So these are all ideas you guys are free to, you know, use. The girls have definitely wanted to share these with you, and I love all this inspiration. Modern Squares 3D folder, a large bloom fussy cut from wildflower bouquet paper. So as well, you can grab your pattern papers and fussy cut them, and those are nice to add on. Yeah, the splatter is great. Hey, Stacy. And okay, so the foundations paper, and I know we had some of that in the shop. I didn't check today, but I think we did have some, and that's fabulous. I've got a piece here that we're going to emboss. Gold mirror cardstock and the Celebrate die. That's pretty. That gold cardstock die cut is just amazing. So thanks, Rosie. Those are gorgeous. And then these are Virginia's, and she has been so busy. And so she's got this is a Stamp Market gift card box die. So I know in the store there's a gift card holder that's, I think it's Pink Fresh. That's something you could do. I don't think we have the Stamp Market one in the store, but the Pink Fresh one is in there. And if you cut it with gold cardstock and then emboss it. She says embossing it after you die cut it is definitely a good tip. And look how beautiful this is. You have this amazing gift card holder that's like this little present in itself. And so we have, I'm just going to run through what she's got here. She's got the Spellbinders Sunrays folder. We do have that in the store, and it's beautiful. And then Memory Box Blooming folder inside. So she's even put a different folder inside. Oh, so she's put it on the back. She embossed a panel and put it on the back, and then it shows through this die cut circle that she's put on the front. That is so pretty. And I really love this. Salvage Patina Oxide, so that's on the background. Wow Embossing Powders, and Pigment Craft Company Sentiment. So that is really pretty. That pop of the pink really stands out. This one here, oh, I love this stamp set. I have that. So again, the Spellbinders Sunrays, you can do so much with that. The Altenew Gold Mirror cardstock, and I think when I looked in the store, there's Lawn Fawn Gold and Silver and 2 different kinds of holographic foil papers that are in the store right now. So if you're looking to pick up some gold and silver, those ones were available. And she's got Stamp Village Image. So I think that one was the Christmas seals or holiday seals, but it was by the Stamp Market. And then she's got some pretty pearls there. Then this one here, she's got the Memory Box Blooming folder. That's really pretty. How do you get ink on the background? Linda, what you do, and I'm going to show you a little bit. The folder that I'm going to use doesn't have a lot of background, but let me show you. So with this one here, we played with this one last week, I think. I don't know, the weeks kind of blur into each other, right? Okay, so what you would do is you've got your folder, and on the top, you're going to take your brayer. So the top, the bottom part is going to create that raised image from the bottom, and the top part is going to press inside. So you're going to take your ink or your Versamark, and you would roll your ink pad and then roll it onto the top, so the front of your embossing folder, till it's all covered. So Versamark, dye inks work great. You can use any of the like Tim Holtz Distress or Oxides. Yeah, so you're essentially inking on the flat side, and it's only going to go, it's not going to go in the ridges. Now, if you don't have a brayer, you can still do it. You just might get a little bit of ink inside. So just going to grab my ink pad here. So you would just do it flat and just press it along or kind of rub it along. And you may not get as crisp of an image as if you did the brayer, but it's still going to work. So if you're embossing, you put the ink over the top side. Then you put your paper in and emboss it. And when it comes out, the ink has actually pressed into the paper, and then you can emboss it. So Jenny just used the Versamark pad directly. She didn't worry about a brayer. And then when it comes out and you put your embossing powder over the panel, it's going to stick to all the areas that are recessed. So this one has the yellow ink. Virginia would have done that with the yellow ink in the background. She would have inked the top of her folder with yellow, put it through, and the ink sticks to wherever it touches, and it's going to end up being the piece that's kind of down further. Yeah, it's really cool and really cool to play with. So this one here, the memory box blooming folder. I think that was a recent one that we had in. That might be on the list. The brayers on your wish list. It's so nice. Like this one is that Tim Holtz one, and it really does pick up the ink nicely. But if you have a different brayer, just try it. It's so smart. I don't know. I don't know, Sandy. It's trial and error some days, but the metallic paper, so that's the one from Tim Holtz, the paper pad with the craft on the back, and a Pigment Craft Company sentiment. Very pretty. And she's stamped with a nice coordinating purple and then added some pretty pearls there. This one here, so don't ever feel like, I've done this so many times. Poor Virginia said, sorry, it's backwards. I have done this more times than I can count. And then you have to cut it off and remount it on a card, or you just give it to somebody like this, right? So this is the Sunrays folder again, and Deco foil. Oh, that's very cool. And she embossed before foiling. I don't know how she did this. How she did the foiling. We might have to get her to explain that, because that's incredible with deco foil. So that will be, maybe Virginia can do a little quick video for us. Spellbinder's Sunrays folder. Nope. This one looks like, I think this one is the memory box. Yeah. Does that look the same? Yeah, that's the memory box folder. And deco foil and emboss after foiling. Again, like, she has stumped us. I don't think she's here today. She is going to have to give us a hint how she did that, because I don't even know. That's incredible. Okay, this one, this is so pretty, and I know we have this folder in the store. This is the Sweet Pea memory box folder, and Altenew Sunshine Yellow ink. So I think that's a dye ink. She brayered it on, and it's a honeybee thanks sentiment and wow embossing powders. The embossing powder is amazing. That's so pretty. I think that folder, I thought I saw it. It's this one here. Isn't that pretty? So gorgeous. Then this looks like the memory box folder again, the blooming folder. And then a We Are Memory Keepers gemstone folder. That's cool. I know there was a pillow box one that one of the companies had. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but that almost reminds me of it. The Tim Holtz metallic cardstock, a Lawn Fawn sentiment, and wow embossing powder. And I really like the sentiments that Lawn Fawn has. They have all kinds of sentiments in their stamp sets, and then some sets are more sentiments based. And you can really do a lot with the different fonts and styles that are in those. So look through your stash and see what you have. This is very pretty. Look how shiny this is. This wave one is actually, I think I saw this here. This one is the waves folder. Like, look how gorgeous that is. So she's used 2 coats of Versamark with embossing powder. It's absolutely amazing. She heat and then did dry embossing. Well, that's cool. So I wouldn't even have thought about that. Hard for drops to stay on it. So yeah, it would be a little bit hard because you've got the embossed background, but this looks like it's on there. I guess she means maybe it kind of moved around a bit, but they look beautiful. Yeah, that folder is amazing. And I love that she's used it with the thanks and the flowers, because I think sometimes we see waves and we think, well, all we can do is summer and beach cards. But really, it's just a gorgeous background. And you can use it with anything. Again, here's that waves folder. And she has salvage patina with the brayer. So she would have put that on the embossing folder with the new salvage patina ink. It could be the oxide. And she's got wow embossing powders. That's so pretty. And then a beautiful sentiment. And then this is the memory box folder again, the blooming. I don't know if I have that one right here. No, I don't. But very pretty. And so she's got black cardstock that she embossed with, then used Hero Art's white pigment ink and a Pigment Craft Company sentiment and Wow Pearl Gold embossing powder. And that Wow powder is so pretty. Look how pretty it is. And it is a pearl gold. It's not like a shiny gold, it's really pearl. So that folder again with the white ink again, and this time on craft. So you can see what a different look you get, but they're both gorgeous. And she used a Pigment Craft Company sentiment and Altenew dye inks. And then this last one here is the blooming folder, the Spellbinders Mirror Gold cardstock. That might be still in the store. And embossed on coarse glitter paper. Oh, no. I don't know what she said. Something didn't work. Embossing on coarse glitter paper did not work. So maybe she tried to emboss glitter paper, and that didn't work. So that's what I'm guessing. But her sentiment looks amazing. That looks to me like it's embossing powder, but maybe it's glitter. But just because you don't have exactly the same supplies doesn't mean you can't try something, whether you're, going for a gold look and you're adding embossing powder if you don't have foil. I think that there might be some mirror gold and mirror silver in Spellbinders in the store as well. So the embossing folders that I have here, but there are tons in the store. I'll just kind of show you again. That was that sweet pea. I'll show you the back because it looks like I'm getting a little bit of glare. This one would be the wave one. And this one is the gears. So one of the last few weeks, we did some gear embossing folder, and we did different inks and stuff with, so go back and look at that if you feel like you want to have a look at all the fun things we did with that. There's some really neat things. It's a great folder, and I love the soft colors too, inked. And then Lorraine actually has a really gorgeous card that's posted in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group. Oh, thanks, Rosie. And this is in the background. So if we have an embossing challenge this week, you're just hearing about the new company. Yeah, they're apparently in Saskatchewan, Sandy. So I have not ordered anything from them, but they look like they have some really cool stuff. So I don't know, do you think that's something that you'll look at? So look in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group, and you will find a folder there for the embossing challenge, you can use embossing folders, you can use heat embossing, you can use something you've embossed with a stencil, anything that's embossed. We would love to see, and that's this month's challenge. And you'll see Lorraine's card, which has this folder. And she's done such a great, Lorraine, I think it's a Father's Day card, isn't it? And then this one here is like a deep, it doesn't have the names of them on them. So if you look up embossing folders, I think that's under memory box, you'll see everything there. And this is kind of that underwater, it's got the little fish, very cute. And then the Altenew folders that just came in, this one we're gonna use today. Embossing with a stencil is really easy, Jenny, especially if you have the embossing mat that goes with your die cutting machine, and you just lay your mat down, you lay your paper, and then your folder. And I'm just trying to think, not folder, but your stencil. I think that's how I do it. I lay the stencil and then paper and the mat, and then you cover it over with your plate, and you can add a couple shims in there and it works really cool. You're not going to get the 3D effect, but you can still get an embossed look. Yeah, those mats are cool. So that one is the Alocasia, which may not be the correct pronunciation. Then this one is the Daisies, really pretty. And Altenew has lots of inspiration on their Instagram as well. This one is the Erica Palm. The Daisy Bed, which is like a full 6x6 of daisies. I think these are 6. Yep. So these are 6x6, so you can easily put your A2 card panel in either way. Then the Buffalo Plaid, which is so cool, and this would be really cool with one of the ink pads kind of on the top, and then run it through with the ink, and then maybe add some inking on top of the embossed image. I think would be really neat. This one, the Enchanting Vines, looks really pretty. The deck planks looks awesome. I think you could do a lot of cool things with that one. Charming Mandala. This is pretty, and I saw one where someone had embossed it, I think with watercolor paper, and then colored in each of these little images, which looked beautiful. And it would take a little bit longer, but I think that would be something you just kind of, you know, it's one of those projects that you just work on because you're enjoying what you're doing, and you can give it to someone special. And Floating Foliage, which is very pretty. So those are the folders I have. And then Sandy also gave me these to show you. These just came in. They are the new clear toner sheets and the slimline card fronts. So there may be some different ones as well in the store. But if you check under Decofoil toner sheets, I think everything comes up. And this one here, you get one of each. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet, so you've got lots. You can either use it as a card front, you can use it as like a shaker front because they are clear, and you run them through the laminator with the Decofoil, and then you have the beautiful, yeah, the butterflies would be gorgeous, hey? You've got the beautiful foiled image that you can add to your project, or you can die cut it. And then this is the slimline toner card fronts, and you get 3 of each design. So these ones are on a white cardstock, I would say. And it looks like it's large enough that then you could go ahead, and if you had some of the slimline dies, you could actually use it to cut them, because most are a little bit smaller than that, I think. So you can have a full panel that's beautifully embossed, or you can cut it and then add it to your slimline cards. So those are always pretty all foiled up. Yeah, they are very, very cool. And yeah, so let's get, I think that's it that I was going to show you, and then we can get to kind of playing with this folder. So I put together this card. Now, these sentiments that we're using today, I ended up just cutting with my Cricut because I had them as a file, but I did see in the store that there are on sale, so you can still pick them up at a really great price. They're Altenew die cuts, and there's hello, thanks, and friend. And I sized these to be the size that Altenew says that their dies are, just to give you an idea of how big those dies would be. They're called Mega Thanks, Mega Friend, and Mega Hello. A sample or two for next week. Sure, I don't know of what. Oh, of the foil. Yeah, sorry, Sandy, my mind is like totally like 10 steps ahead. Of the foil, I think you mean, and sure. And so if you look under Altenew Mega, you're gonna see those three, and you might wanna grab them because they probably won't last, they're on sale. And so with these, this one here, I'm gonna show you how we did that. So I went ahead and just embossed a piece, I know, oh Sandy. I just embossed a piece of cardstock. It looks probably like it was a basil cardstock. And I'm gonna get my box of stuff here. Okay, so I've got the oxide ink in Salvaged Patina. This is the new one that was just released. And I've just got a little foam for my ink blender. And the oxide over dark is going to really give us that soft, chalky look. So it's kind of neat. If we went in with the Salvaged Patina ink, you really wouldn't see anything because it's ink and it's translucent. And if it was white, it would show up beautifully. But if it's on dark, you really want to go with the oxide. So for some things, I really do like the inks. And you just kind of add this wherever you like. So this was super easy. Look how quick you get this really pretty look. You could do a couple different colors if you wanted. I'm going to grab a wipe. Just so I don't get ink all over everything. And then all I did was stamp this cute little chameleon from the Flip Flop Lawn Fawn set, and he is still in the store with the matching die cuts. So I'm going to show you how we stamp him in a minute. And I use the sentiment from that set as well, which is You Color My World, which I thought was cute. And then I always have lots of these ephemera. I really like the ephemera. Thanks, Jenny. I have trouble with simplicity and just leaving it, and I probably could have got away without even adding this much. You could just add a sentiment and, you know, a couple sequins or something, and you could just leave it at that. But I grabbed these Sun-Kissed ephemera. I've used these a ton. I think these are still available. So this is the Cocoa Vanilla Sun-Kissed. And I layered the little rainbow, and then I actually stamped him. I don't remember when we did this. Last week, the week before. It's like the weeks all blend together. So we were looking at the Dina Wakley gloss sprays, and I had these backgrounds that we did, and they were kind of left over, and I thought I'm going to stamp him and then add some ink on top because the gloss spray resists the ink. And then I added a little bit of these Dream Drops from Nuvo and to his back, and he's this cute little multicolor chameleon. I added a few little sequins, and then we've got a little heart, and I'm going to show you when we make the other card how I did the heart. We also have these that just came in, the sequins from Picket Fence. So this one is Vegas Baby. Got a bunch of different colors in there. Then this purple mix is the Jewel of the Nile. And then this one is a gem mix, and these are really beautiful. So there's all different sizes, and there's gold and there's clear, and they're in like just from ranging from little tiny to bigger. And that one is the Sands of Time. So those are great to add on to your projects. So with this one here, I did that embossing folder technique where you put the ink. Now there isn't a lot of background space, so really the background space is just around the edge. Depending on your folder, that depends on how much ink is going to transfer. The Vegas Baby, totally. It's like so cool. So I'm gonna show you how. Let's see here, what will we use? Maybe we'll use the ink. The Salvage Patina ink. And we'll take our brayer, this was the Tim Holtz brayer, and our embossing folder. Yeah, the colors are so nice. There are, you know, so many colors in that mix. Stacy, you're right. Like there's bronzes and golds and white and even a little bit of like a pinky red and then black. I really love mixing my sequin mixes and just coming up with my own color combination. You're late to the show. We'll have to watch most on replay. Oh, you just got your second vaccine. Good for you, Jennifer. I had my first a few weeks ago, so I think I'm eligible to book the end of the month. So looking forward to that. My daughter's gonna go in on Saturday and have hers. So I'm just getting the ink, and I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit wet. Yeah, the pink in that is really nice. This is the top of the folder. And so you can see that it is transferring, and it's going to stay wet because it's a water-based dye ink, and it's not going to cover everything because you have little, you know, dips and bumps, and you're just getting kind of a little bit of an effect. This is the Vicki Boutin Foundations paper, and you can just rinse this off under the sink and it comes right off. So the Foundations paper, and if you pay attention to when you take it out of the book, when it's the front side, that's the side you want to make note, because it has kind of a something on the surface like a gesso or something, and that helps your watercoloring or mixed media move around better than the back side. So this is my old, used, loved Cuttlebug. I'm just using my base plate, and then this is the top plate. And I'm just gonna run this through my folder. So you shouldn't feel, you know, so much pressure that you can't get it through. If it's tight and you're having a hard time, then don't, just like back it off and play around with whether you need some shims of paper or a different plate in there. And so you can see that the ink transferred on, and it looks so pretty. So if you wanted to go ahead and rub that ink on, you're going to probably get a heavier layer, and that's going to look amazing as well. But there's not a lot that's going to transfer on this folder. So I'm going to wipe it a little bit because we want to do some Versamark on my next sample, and we don't need the blue. So we'll just wipe that off. And the Distress inks just rinse right off so easily. Okay, so then what I did to get this color, thanks Jenny, is just take some of my inks. So I've got the Rustic Wilderness. We'll move this out of the way. And I just added that to my glass mat. And that's the oxide. You could do the oxide or the ink. You're just going to get a little bit of a different color. We can try both. I don't know whether it will even notice the difference because of the technique we're doing, but then we could add a little bit of this crushed olive. We're just kind of making our own watercolor palette is what we're doing. And that foundations paper is really great. So this one is the Twisted Citron. So we won't do the whole thing, but I'll just give you an idea of how you can do this. And if you had a more, like a detailed one like that Mandala embossing folder, you could totally just have fun watercoloring your background. It would look beautiful. So I have just a little bit of water in a cup, and you can just add it and pick up, you're just picking up some of the paint that you're making, and then you're just painting it on. So you've got a defined edge. It doesn't matter if you go over that blue because it's fine to mix in with the green. And you're just kind of having fun painting it. So you could even paint like purple or pink leaves. It doesn't really matter if you go to the lines. If you feel like something needs a little more water, this paper is really great for absorbing and helping you move it around. And you can mix the colors or just kind of have fun with it. So you can see like it doesn't take a long time and you get this really pretty watercolor background. And then there where I got a little bit too much, I just wet my brush and it just moves around really nicely. And then this one is the ink. So it's a little bit darker because the oxide almost has that chalky kind of look to it. And then this would be the Twisted Citron. So both the Twisted Citron and that crushed olive are a nice bright kind of yellowy green. And you can always go back and add more as well, like if you wanted to darken something up or put some shadows, you can always do that because it's going to keep moving around. So then you would just, isn't that pretty? You would just finish that and you've got this really beautiful background. And then for this one, so let's move this out of the way. That's kind of squeaky there. For this one, I actually used the Vicky Bouton Color Study Ephemera, which I believe is still in the shop as well. Come back out. The watercolor looks pretty, hey? Like, think about the flower ones would look beautiful. Those daisies I was thinking would look gorgeous watercolored. And if you already have some Distress inks and oxides, then you can make your own watercolors. So this is the ephemera with the Vicky Bouton color study, and I did see that that is still in the store. There's some really great images. So I used the flower, and then I stamped this little guy on the background that I made with the gloss sprays. Added this little heart that was from the Cocoa Vanilla ephemera, and then this from the Lawn Fawn. One in a chameleon flip-flop, that's what that one is called. And the Hello die cut. So for this last one here, we actually did some Versamark and the Wow powder. So I used the Wanderlust, which I saw was back in. I really love the Wanderlust powder. It's like this shimmery, has a hint of, it almost looks like kind of iridescent in gold and silver. It's really pretty, and depending on what you put it on. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do that one. So I've got this piece of green cardstock that I really don't particularly like this color, but I was just playing around with it, and because I ended up altering it with the ink and adding the embossing powder, I really like it. So if there's a cardstock at home that you think it's gross and you will probably never use it, play around with some embossing, because you might end up liking it when it has different elements on it. You were swatching your Wow embossing powders. Oh, they're so nice, aren't they? And there's a bunch of new ones in the store. I don't know if I have that. Oh yeah. So a couple weeks ago, we kind of looked at a whole bunch, and there's tons in there. So look up Wow embossing powders, and there's so many gorgeous ones. So what I did was emboss. You could go ahead and add a layer of ink if you wanted. Yeah, just by by swatching your powders out, you kind of get an idea of how they look on dark or light, and you're more likely to use them because you kind of think, oh, that would look pretty with this or paired with something. So I'm going to emboss that ugly green piece of paper. I don't know why I don't like that color, because I do like green, but it's just something about, and I think I have like a bazillion pieces. Okay, so we have our piece, and I do like that you can have this as a vertical or horizontal card. It looks great either way. Then I just grabbed the embossing powders. No, I grabbed the distress inks. And I already forgot to show you the whole point of the embossing folder. So this, you could either start inking. No, I can't get the folder out. Okay, so it wouldn't be alive if you didn't actually, something did not happen. So I'm lining this up again because I missed, I don't know if this is gonna work now. And I didn't bring another piece. Okay, I think this is in. So what I did is I forgot to put the Versamark. So we're gonna back up, and we're going to take the Versamark, and because my brayer has ink all over it, I'm not going to bray it on, I'm just going to rub it on. So we're just gonna give it a rub. This is just Versamark pad, that's sticky ink, and your embossing powder will stick to. And I'm not pressing hard because I don't want it to go into all the ridges, but pretend I didn't emboss in the folder. And also understand that, you know what, it's This stuff happens to everybody. So we're going to emboss with the folder with the Versamark in there. Take 2. Now, I don't know how well the embossing powder is going to stick because I already pre-embossed it, so, and it's clear. I don't know. We're just going to go with it. We're going to roll with it. And if nothing sticks to it, I have another idea. Okay, so we've got Wow Wanderlust embossing powder. What do you think, guys? Is it going to work or not? Oh, it is. Okay. Whew. I'm not going to tap it really hard because I don't want everything to come off. And with any of the powders that have a mixture of powder in them, you can give them a good shake. Yeah, lucky for everyone that worked, hey? And if it didn't, it's not the end of the world. It's a piece of paper. And it would just give me another excuse to use another green piece of paper. Okay, and then we've got our heat gun. This is a really pretty powder. Sometimes if you've got, like, it has a little bit of glittery stuff in it, so if you heat it from the back, it starts melting it so you don't have as much glitter blowing around. And you can see as soon as it starts melting, you're gonna see that turn almost a clear and then see that gold show up. If you could try this with a whole bunch of different colors, I think it would look really great. Okay. Glitter does blow around, and I don't know. Glitter doesn't bother me, so. So we've got our background. Look how pretty that is. You could leave it like that. I love the dimension of these folders. But we are going to kick it up a notch, and we're actually, instead of going with the oxide, which, because that's a little bit darker green, it would give us kind of a chalky look, I think we'll go with the ink. It's just the nature of glitter. And because this is more of a glittery powder, I know that if I keep rubbing it back and forth, I'm getting a lot of glitter on my pad. So I'm just going to rub it on the background and take it from there. So you just start inking this on and you get a really cool effect. So this gold and iridescent powder is going to be in the little grooves and around the edges. And then you have the effect of the ink on the raised areas, which is really cool. Put a little bit more. And if you wanted even a little darker, you could put a little bit of brown around the edges. I think I'm okay with this. So you can see how it just looks. It just really kind of adds to that dimension. And then that's not all, folks. We have, okay, don't forget about going back to your oxide to get that chalky look. So we've got the salvaged patina in the oxide. If you tried, I'm going to do some splatters. If you tried to do some splatters with the ink, it's just translucent, and you might get a little bit of dark splotches, but you're not going to get, I just want to wait for that. Maybe I'll do it here. I don't want it to get in the water. You're not going to get that chalky white look that I've got here. So I'm just rubbing this on the background on the glass mat. Then I've got a little bit of water here. And then you can just start doing your little splatters. And I think it just looks really cool. It just adds this really cool effect. But it's not bright white. I know that Avery Al has that white ink spray that's beautiful and bright and white if you wanted to have something that's nice and bright, or the Dina Wakley white gloss spray. This is more kind of just a soft, so that's good. Just a soft, subtle, splatty look. So I think that's very pretty. And what we're going to do is just put our card together here. So we've got our card base, and I made a top folding card. And even though I want it sideways, I kind of like the look of just having something a little different. So normally if you had if I was cutting a card, I would just have it opening from the top if it was this landscape card, but I kind of like that it's opening the long way. And we'll just glue on our background. So those little splotches won't take long to dry. They're probably still a little bit wet. We're gonna glue that onto here, onto a piece of black. Now with, oh, maybe I did make this, I can't remember. Oh yeah. My other piece of cardstock, I had it the full size, but this one was a little bit, cut down a little bit. I actually went through all my cardstock, it's hard to see on the black, all my cardstock pieces that were kind of random. They were divided by color, but there was all kinds of different sizes, and I cut them all down to fit on a card front and put them in rainbow order, and now they just fit in a little container, and I gave my kid all the rest, and she thought that was fantastic. And it was just such a nice feeling to have that all organized and not feel like I went from having a huge basket of scraps that I kind of had to dig through to this little organized piece. If I want to die cut, I just grab a piece out of it. So that's layered on black, just a piece of black cardstock. And then we have our friend cut. Now this piece here is from the Vicki Boutin ephemera pack. Sometimes it feels good just to do some organizing and feel like you've actually been productive, hey? And to show you how I did the little chameleon, so I just went in, and this was just background paper from those gloss sprays. And you could cut it up to do the backgrounds of cards, whatever you want. But I kind of just found a color, and that spray video is still on the video page of the Scrap Shotz Facebook page. Just kind of found a color that I wanted. So maybe like we could do this and then add pink in there, because I'm going to add some ink in there, and then just take, I've got the detail black from Pink Fresh. So we do want a little bit of areas that are white. this is a great way to use your backgrounds too. If you have a bunch of backgrounds that you don't know what to do with, and you have some like flower stamps would be awesome like this. And I'm just going to give this a little shot with the heat gun because that is over paint, so it could smudge. You organize your stuff and need to reorganize. Well, you know what? Good for you for actually organizing. My craft room looks like a bomb went off right now, and I know when I start to not find anything that I need to reorganize. And a tip that I'll give you is that if you can't find anything, like embossing pens, you look everywhere. So you look in every possible area that you think it could be in, and you do that several times, and then you order it again from Sandy. And then after it comes, you will find it right in the first place that you looked for it. So yeah, if you order something, you will definitely find it. So this is our little guy, and then we can just go in with whatever kind of ink. So if you use oxide, it's going to cover the paint and the ink up a little because of that chalky finish. Yeah, I guess that's truly Murphy's Law, right? I've got the Kitsch Flamingo. And then you go over it, and anything where the paint wasn't, so even if we wanted to do a couple colors, it's really cool. It just goes on to the background, and I think it looks really neat. Oh, I don't want the oxide, I actually want the ink. And then you just put it on. It's almost like it just pops, that color. Like, how cool is that? Yeah, it's completely illogical, Stacy. It's process, and you follow it, and that's what happens. Okay, so I think we'll glue this over here. Actually, you know what? Before I glue that down, I'm going to put some foam tape on it. So we'll ignore that I glued that, and we'll do the foam tape just to give a little bit of dimension. So what is everybody having for supper tonight? I am hungry, and I made soup in the crock pot, and it smells really good. And so with these Invisalign on, I have not been snacking because you have to like take them out and then brush your teeth and then put them back in, which is fine. I shouldn't be snacking anyways, but by supper I'm hungry. Okay, we're gonna put this little guy here. That's embossed with white embossing powder. Then we'll kind of just see where we want to position this. So that's probably going to be good there. So we'll put that on. I love these little paint tubes. There's like 3 different colors in that Vicki Boutin color study pack. Okay. And he does have a little tree branch that he can sit on. That's what I put in over here. Yeah, just go get Invisalign. Or maybe if you tell yourself you have to brush your teeth every time you snack, it's kind of a deterrent. I don't mind brushing my teeth, but it's like, well, I know I have to go upstairs and brush them, and It's like, oh well, forget it. Okay, and that friend die, the Altenew one, is such a great size. It pretty much goes the whole way. It's a little bit different than this, but I thought it would give you an idea of what it looked like. You try that trick in the evening. Yeah, sometimes even if I brush my teeth first, then I don't feel like I want to snack. Okay. I've got a Jelly Roll pen because I thought he looked kind of cute if his eye was white, so I'm just trying to be careful to go around that stamped part. And then we'll just pop him up. Oversized dies are really big right now, and I know My Favorite Things, I think, has a few. Lawn Fawn had one, I think. But they're kind of nice. It's the focal image for the card, and then you don't even have to do a lot, especially with those really pretty embossing folders. You don't need to do a whole lot more. Okay, so we've got this guy. I think he's very cute. He's gonna sit right on there. I had done this guy up earlier, and I put a little bit of the crystal glaze over his eye to just give it a little bit of dimension. That takes a few minutes to dry. And then I used a little bit of these Dream Drops. This one's Fairy Wings. And that just goes on. You can make really nice drops with this, and they settle into really beautiful dots. I ended up using a few sequins, but maybe we'll try the dots because I grabbed a couple different colors. And I cut this Hugs die out from, this one, I think it's sold out right now, but it's the Long Distance Hugs and just white heat embossed. And I thought I would put that here. So I'll put that on here. You could also, if you had a stamp or a die cut that said hello, you could do hello friend or just have it as friend. And then there was some little hearts in that Cocoa Vanilla ephemera pack. Hearts are always great. I did die cut some hearts there. I wasn't sure if I was going to use them. And then I just recently got this, which is really cool. It's the Sunset Orange, and it's the Cosmic Shimmer Opal Blaze. And so I've had the pots, or I have the pots, and we did a whole video before. But this is the same as the pot, but it's got a little applicator. So I think some of them, there are the pots or the applicator. So it doesn't matter. The applicator is kind of neat though. That's the first one I've had with the applicator. The pots, you kind of just use your finger. But that applicator is quite neat. So it gives a really shimmery finish. And then you can still go in and put the crystal glaze on the top. And I'll show you what that looks like dry. So it's almost like you have this shimmery, puffy sticker, or like epoxy sticker. Like, it looks really cool. So that was with the Sunset Orange. It's not really like a super orange, but I did, if I can find my pieces of paper here. black piece of paper, and I don't know what I've done with it, but here's a white one. I know I'll see it as soon as I clean up, or if I place an order. All right, here's the look on white. You just get this me, okay. You get just a really light shimmery effect. And let's see, I've got a piece of craft here. You get different effects depending on the cardstock. I'm hoping that I'm going to see that black cardstock. Then you get more of that orangey tone on that, and I'm betting it's black. Sorry, I'm betting it's orange on the black. And honestly, I know that I had a piece of black cardstock here 1 second ago. Oh, I found it. These are neat to swatch out as well. Oh, that's very pretty. So you get totally different effect when it's on black. Yeah, and all of those Opal Blaze products are like that. And then I think all we need to do, I added a few sequins on the other ones. So you could add some sequins, or you can just use these little drops and put. So you do need to set these aside to dry. And we can add, this one here is the Frosted Lake, and then this one is the Fairy Wings. And it just gives kind of a really nice little effect. So that's our card. I'll zoom back out again here. Yeah, we've got a cute little friend card. We had fun. You could totally keep it so simple, or you know, you could go ahead and add the embossing. And oh, this, I was going to add this hugs. It didn't really go, but I wanted to show you. This is with, I stamped with purple and embossed with the Wanderlust on gold cardstock. And isn't that pretty? I will use that on something else. It just didn't match for that one. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and check out the embossing folders if you want to try some of that 3D effect. If you have any embossing projects, be sure that you're sharing them with us in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group, and enter the challenge just by putting your project in the comments, or uploading your project in the album in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group. Thanks, Jenny. Thank you guys, all the team, for all the beautiful cards that you sent over. They were amazing, and it was so nice to be able to show them. Thanks, Sandy. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, have some crafty time, and have fun in the sun. Thanks, Stacy. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.